Well, today is November 19th, 2018, Monday. And I believe that what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about interruptions. That's what my newsletter is about. So we're going to talk about interruptions. What is an interruption? An interruption is anything that dissuades your trajectory in life. Now, I mean for your entire life, could be, but usually it's anything that diverts your attention from something that you want to do this day, this hour, this morning, in the next 5 minutes. It could be anything. I'm telling you, I've had stuff happen to me where I knew what I was going to do and I got up and I went to the other room, wherever that was, maybe the kitchen, because I had to focus on something I wanted to do and got distracted by something on the way, maybe passing through the living room, and maybe it was only a few seconds. Maybe it was a squirrel that had hopped up on the back deck eating some of the food I put out for him, or one of the birds that where I put bird seed up on the railings of our back deck, and I might have thought, oh man, look at that beautiful cardinal, and there's a blue jay over there, and then a few seconds, got to the next room, the kitchen, had no idea why I came in there. It was an interruption. So, how's your day going? How's your day been? How's your day going to be? These are all questions that unconsciously, or subconsciously, I should say, go through our minds. And we don't often frame it in a formal question and say, oh, I wonder how my day is going to go. We just kind of figure the day is going to go somewhat like we want it to. And seldom does that happen. Usually the day does not go like we want it to go. It doesn't look like we want it to look. The events, people, plans, whatever, don't always succeed. Just like when they launched the Parker satellite to go to the sun, it was only like 30 or 40 minutes into space, into the flight, and they lost telemetry. They didn't know if the third stage rocket motor was going to fire or not. They were getting no feedback, no telemetry, no nothing. So for a while, as the spacecraft zoomed toward the sun from Earth, uh, here's hundreds of people wondering, what's it doing? Is it still there? Is it operating? Is it going to fire the engine on time? Will it get the right trajectory so that we can go by Venus and then head into the sun or toward the sun? Well, they were on, I imagine, pins and needles for quite some time. And then finally, one of the ground-based installations picked up a signal from it. Yep, everything had fired on time like it was supposed to. They have no idea what happened during that brief moment of time. I don't know. Maybe aliens are wanting for us to find out about our sun, and something happened to the spacecraft and they made sure it stayed on track and fired. Or they didn't. So whatever happened, happened. It fired on time, headed toward the sun. On November 5th of 2018, it arrived at the sun and began doing its job around the sun. So sometimes life interruptions keep us from our tasks. Sometimes we just get diverted or take a slight detour along the way. These tasks can be important. They can be mundane. They can just be normal everyday tasks. They get sidetracked. But the interruption and how you handle that interruption is what's really important. Never react. If you react, somebody else, something else, is in charge of you and your mental state, sometimes your physical state. But if you respond, you're thoughtful, you take time to assess what's going on, and you respond in a logical, thoughtful manner, then nobody controls you. You control you. And that's what's very important. You must control you. Bills getting you down? Hey, you can react. I know a good friend of mine many years ago. He was overwhelmed with debt due to not spending wisely. And he was making a lot of money. But he wasn't spending it wisely. He wasn't conserving. He wasn't saving it. Anyway, the bills just overwhelmed him. So what did he do? What would you do first? I'll be quiet for a second. Think about it. What would you do if bills were overwhelming you? Well, here's what my friend did. He went out, bought a new motorhome. Oh yeah, he went out. He was so depressed that he went and bought a super expensive, if you know anything about motorhomes, they are not cheap. I bought a motorhome. I asked him, I said, what were you thinking? He said, I don't know. I was so depressed, I wanted something to cheer me up. So that cheered him up for a week or so. And then in a month, of course, the payments started coming due. It wasn't anything cheery about that. He ended up finally going bankrupt because he reacted to stuff instead of responding like I think most people do. They do. Most people do respond. They don't freak out. He is a good friend of mine, but it was just one of those things. So when life throws you curveballs, learn how to hit curves. Oh yeah, I got good at hitting curves when I played baseball. I could hit sliders. I loved for the pitchers to throw me sliders or fastballs outside what they thought was my hitting range, but was still within the strike zone. Anyway, they would like to throw it low and outside to get me to swing and miss. They didn't realize until after I played for a while that was my sweet spot. Low and outside, over the fence it went. Man, I loved it until they learned that I loved them. So anyway, it was great. And of course, if I played somebody that didn't know that was my strength, and they threw that to me. Boom! Man, it was great when the bases were loaded. But anyway, low and outside, that was my pitch. I loved it. High and inside, usually those weren't in the strike zone, and I could back away from those. But low and outside, man, I loved it. Curveballs tend to be an interruption, and I had to learn how to hit a curveball. So the old adage, keep your eye on the ball, that's where it came from, baseball. Keep your eye on the ball. Don't worry about the pitcher. Don't worry about the first baseman or what the catcher's doing behind you or over at third. Don't worry about the runner that's out there. Keep your eye on the ball. So when that ball left the pitcher's hand, that's what I focused on. I had almost like tunnel vision. You ever seen a camera that everything to the side fades out, but that thing in the center is right on? It's, man, you can't miss what, okay. That was me and the baseball. And that was why I had such an excellent hitting record, because I kept my eye on the ball. If I couldn't hit it, I wasn't swinging. So I could hit just about anything. And I didn't especially like bunting. But there were times when strategy called for a bunt. So I did so. A lot of times sacrificial bunts, but hey, if it advanced my man, my teammate, no problem. So keep your eye on the ball. Focus on what's important. Your family is important. Your spouse, your children, your brother, your sisters, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, your coworkers, fellow attendees at church, people that you're in a club with. Uh, some friends of mine are in a motorcycle club. And, you know, they really take care and look out for each other. And when something gets out of whack, in most of situations I'm aware of, in all these situations, the people don't react. Sometimes you'll see them just get quiet. Think about, it may not be long, 15 seconds. Think about how to respond and then speak or then take action. So when interruptions come your way, you know what? That's going to happen for the rest of your life as long as you're here on earth. But never react. Always respond in the best way with your knowledge at that time that you can. Don't 5 years from now or 6 months from now say, oh man, if only I had 6 months from now, you're going to have more knowledge than you've got now. Respond with the knowledge that you have now. Remember, go to our website, www.astepabove.life. Our gourmet coffees are going like gangbusters. Man, everybody loves them. And the bags that I've got, I believe I showed y'all those bags. They're right behind me here. They have a little air bladder that lets the fragrance out of the bag, but it doesn't let air go back in to destroy the freshness. And man, I think I told you my pastor, we were on the radio program and he was smelling that coffee. I had all three of them sitting in front where on Facebook you could see them. And he kept picking the bags up and smelling them all through the show. And so toward the end of the show, he said, man, I won't have to, on one of the breaks, he said, I won't have to get a bag of that coffee. I said, yeah, okay, get it. Or get all three, whatever you want. He said, man, I love the smell of that coffee. And I said, well, gourmet coffee does have a special smell to it. It's got a fragrance, aroma that's out of this world. So finally, he ended up, he got one bag. And before he got home, we talked on the phone and he said, no, I got to have all three. So yeah, make sure that you check out our website. Check out the subscribe. You can buy them individually. You can buy all three, or you can actually do our subscription service. And with the subscription service, buying £2 a month, there's free shipping. All of the proceeds help us to keep our ministry going. Remember our radio show every Thursday and Friday from 11:30 to 12:30. It's on WHAP 1340. If you go to Facebook, type that in, hit WHAP 1340 Fox, and right around 11:30 it'll come live on Facebook, and you'll be able to stream us. And if you don't live in the area, you can download the Simple Radio app and put in 1340 WHAP as your favorite. Listen to us anywhere in the world. Even my daughter in Italy can listen to me over there. She also streams me on Facebook. And if you're in the local area, you can turn to 96.9 or 1340 and listen that way. Whew, well, that was a lot today. I didn't mean to talk so long. I've had some interruptions since the 13th because Microsoft did one of their famous updates which they've done, and has crashed my computer 5 times this year. Um, and my computer's only 3 years old. It's a nice computer. But anyway, it crashed. Well, this time the guy got it back up. It lasted 2 days, crashed again, and I just now today got it back up. Went through all sorts of machinations. I have got dozens of hours sitting with technicians on chat, them trying to take control of your computer and trying to fix it. It was ludicrous, but it's fixed now. Thank the Lord for that. Also, I'm open for speaking engagements in December 22nd through January the 2nd or 3rd. I will be in Southern Florida. So any of you that would like to have me speak at your church or business down in Florida during that time, I'll be right down there, so you won't have to worry about the huge costs of transportation, because I'll already be down there. Be glad to speak at any church, any service, any kind of function. And locally here in Virginia, I've done seminars, workshops for local church, and I've written a program for one church on communication. That was a lot of fun. Took me a while, but it was fun doing it. Did a PowerPoint and everything to teach a 13-week class with them. So I do a little bit of everything in those areas, especially anything to do with writing. Any of y'all that knows a good literary agent, my second book is finished, and I need an agent to rep it for me. So this is a rep, the Internet Pastor, coming at you live one more time, November the 19th, 2018. Make this day fantastic.